Fest. So happy to be here. We're ready to have some Black Girl Magic. Yes,
Yes.
Tiffany? Yes. Let's clap about it. My name is Madison McShepard. I am a lead development representative with Amazon Web Services. So excited to start this conversation around workforce efficiency and AI today. I'm excited to introduce the iconic entrepreneur, founder, and CEO of Stimulus, Miss Tiffany Stannard.
Woo, thank you.
Yes, I could go on and on about Tiffany, but I would love for you to provide everyone with a brief little bio and walk through about who you are, where you come from, and a bit about Stimulus.
Awesome. Hey, everyone. I'm so excited to be here at Estin Fest. I am this raving in the Black Girl Magic. I really wish I can bottle it up and take it with me everywhere I go. So amazing to see all of you here. So again, I am Tiffany Stannard, CEO and founder of Stimulus. And I've been an entrepreneur now for 20 years. It's been a long time, okay? Pre a lot of these conversations and AI and all of that. And so I've been across multiple industries from media to marketing, but it always been in technology. So I was really adopting, AI very early in the early stages. I was always signing up for, different wait lists of like, hey, how do I use this to help me run my business and all of that. So I love to see where it's evolved into and how it can be used for your business, whether to grow your business, to grow your consumer base. And I'm just so excited to have this conversation today.
Yes, absolutely. I'm excited to get into it. I would love for you to speak a bit more to Stimulus' mission, and if you could talk a bit about how AI plays a role in that, we'd love to hear it.
Yes, so being an entrepreneur, so I've been across multiple industries, but I've really been consistently in procurement and supply chain. And for all of you that don't know what procurement is, because it's just a fancy word that big companies use, basically procurement is the process of obtaining the goods and services you need to run your business. So then when you work with another business, they become your vendor or your supplier. So you see all these amazing businesses out here in this convention center. They are vendors. They are selling you their product or service. And so I've been in that industry for a really long time, working across from government to corporations to nonprofits. And so Stimulus came about where I wanted to figure out a better experience for whether you are the buyer buying from another business or you are the vendor selling your product and service, and wanted to figure out how do we look at AI and technology to really automate the process. If you've ever, went to go choose a product that you want to use for your business, you're doing a lot of searching, a lot of Googling, a lot of asking your friends out here, like, who should I be using? And it's really difficult. And then when you become a larger company, it becomes a full process because now you're buying in bulk. So we're like, how do we figure out the best way to streamline this process using AI? So our platform is called Relationship Intelligence because we want to also understand the relationship that you're building with those businesses. How many times have you worked with them? How much have you paid them? Has their company grown because of the money that you're putting into their business? So we really focus on that. So our big vision is really using AI to grow and create 1 billion B2B relationships. Now that sounds like a lot, but if you think of all of the businesses here and all around the world, it's actually kind of low. And it's us starting with how buyers and vendors work together and creating a better experience.
Yes, absolutely. And I do want to segue a bit into looking at enhancing workforce efficiency. So could you speak to the impact of AI when it comes to workforce efficiency within your corporation?
Yeah, so you think of business where you can be a team of 5, but you want to feel like a team of 20, right? You guys are here, you setting up your business, you're trying to track all the people that's signing up for your newsletter, going to your website. So for us, we've used AI in 2 ways. One, internally with our company. We're a small but mighty team across the United States as well as globally. We have people in Canada, in Bahamas. So we're like, how do we really duplicate our work? Because when you're a technology company or any company, you're doing like you get hired for one thing, you do about 20 things, right? So we're trying to figure out how do we automate 5 of those 20 things. So using AI to send emails, to go through our PowerPoints, to create our graphics, right? All of our presentations, and really streamline a work that maybe takes 10 hours can maybe take 2 to 4 hours now.
Yeah.
And then with our customers, our goal is to build a better buyer and vendor experience. And then for the larger companies, as you see all of these amazing businesses here, we're like, how do we make sure, one, they are making better purchasing decisions with their data, but then also making sure they are buying from these businesses up in here, right? Making sure that they're diversifying their supply chain. And so our goal is to really focus on that. So using data to put companies in front of them that they would have not thought about, seen, looked for, and it's based upon data. So they can say, oh, there's no woman on doing X, Y, and Z, and then our platform will find them 20 that's doing X, Y, and Z, or 30 that's doing X, Y, and Z, right? And so now they can't deny the information, they can't deny the data, and then our intelligence starts building on the platform, and then we're showcasing to them other ways that they can work with that company. They can partner with them at an Essence, they can partner with them at an accelerator that's coming up. There's so many different ways to work with businesses and partner with businesses, so our technology helps with that process.
Absolutely. And I was curious if, I know you kind of gave us some insight, but do you have a specific example in mind when it comes to how AI kind of tied into Stimulus's mission?
Yes, so one of our customers, so we work across industries, but one of the industries that we work in is healthcare, and helping healthcare leaders really find the product and services that they need to run their business and to help their patients. And we remember working with one of the stakeholders where they were trying to find a local company to do some IT work. And they was like, well, if you can find a woman, find me a woman. And we're like, okay. It wasn't really like a really major goal, but they're like, if you can, then do it. Yeah. And we found them 20, right? Yeah. And that was just the initial search. And then as you search more and you even go down the filter of what you're looking for and get a little bit more granular, you are able to find more. So then we went from 20 to 30, and not only locally, but from other cities that they were already working in. So it took the thinking from the person, it took the biases out from the person, from their assumptions that they may have about what is out there and what is not out there. But then we also look at it on the opposite side. From that experience, say we only found one or two, because maybe there's only one or two women in that industry. Then we use the opposite of that data to say, how do we help create more women in IT services? Because now we have the opposite data happening. Exactly. So we look at it in two different ways. One, if we found the data, great, the data is there. But if the data is showing that there's not enough of us, how do we help a company expand? How do we help a company pivot? Or how do we help a company, build from scratch to say, hey, there's companies looking for this if you create this.
Yes. And I do want to circle back. I know you talked about procurement and, in the workplace. Would love to hear about any challenges and also key points or wins when it comes to leveraging AI within that.
Yes, so challenges in our area of supply chain procurement, most people don't even know what the words mean, right? So unless you're in business and selling into a business, people don't know what those words mean. And prior to, the pandemic, you really didn't know what they mean. And as I say, it's a big word that companies use when they're large, and it basically just means buying stuff. It's buying from other businesses and working with other businesses. That is what procurement is, and you get more strategic and more, deep into the process when you become a larger company, because now you have to buy it in bulk. So prior to the last few years, people didn't understand the process until they were missing their favorite product that they couldn't get. And then they were like, oh, okay. Or prior to that, we had raised money, but we didn't raise millions yet. Because, a lot of investors were like, oh, this is not sexy. People don't care about this. And I'm like, if you work with a business, you invest in a business, and they sell to another business, they're going through procurement. They're going through supply chain. So that was some of the challenges of really helping people understand that process. And then a lot of corporations wasn't, they were thinking of digital transformation, of updating their processes and diversifying their supply chain, but it wasn't something that was like really on the top of the to-do list. And just over the last few years, from investors to, large corporations understanding, needing to know who they're working with. So those are some of the wins. And then since then, raising millions for the company.
Yeah. Definitely. And with you being an entrepreneur, I know that decision-making when it comes to all these business operations is critical. I would love to know, when it comes to implementing AI, when it comes to decision-making, how are you doing that? How are you leveraging that? And what are you seeing when it comes to results?
Yeah, so definitely utilizing AI for when I just don't feel like thinking that day, right? That is a good thing about AI. It really helps automate a lot of things that may take you hours of research and bringing the information back. You know, AI, the definition of AI and the goal of AI is really implementing human intelligence into machines to get them to act like humans, right? So when you're thinking about the process of writing an email or finishing, you know, a proposal, or even you're just thinking of something that you want to do for your team and you're just like, let me Google what's something I could do to keep my team excited this week or something. Like just simple things where you may go ask another person and then they got to go take the time to go research it, or you can, you know, type it into one of the AI systems that you're using and get that information back in minutes, seconds, right? So that's how we think about it. Like, how do we automate that process so quickly? Because I'm like, I think all day. I don't know about you. You're thinking all day. You're making 100 decisions. And if I could take away one decision this day, this hour, a lot of that work can be amazing. And then if you're building a software, then it really can help when you're working with your customers to make their lives easier so they can get home at 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock. They don't have to work on the weekends. And for us, when we think of working with our buyers, we like to call our platform a chief of staff for the buyers and then a marketing assistant for the vendors, because we're really helping to streamline the stuff that normally takes hours, weeks, and days to do.
Yeah, and I would love to expand on that a bit more. Do you have a specific example or customer story where using those AI-driven insights were able to lead to extreme success or a new way of operating?
Yeah, so definitely on the recommendation side. So when we're working with a customer, we look at everything that you do across how you work with suppliers. So we look at what is your communication with those suppliers. We look at automation with those suppliers. We look at what have you bought in the past 5, 10 years that you may buy over the next 5 to 10 years. So we can start making recommendations that, hey, in this category, you have not spent enough with women-owned businesses in New Orleans, right? And we've given them that data to be like, you're absolutely correct, I have not, right? So we're starting to implement that across the board. And, you know, us being here at the, you know, Essence Festival, but then the Global Black Economic Forum, it's also economic empowerment where how do we make sure that all underrepresented companies are represented across different companies when they think of spending their money.
Yes, absolutely. And for those here that are looking to kind of get started with AI and aren't sure, you know, what those first steps can be, can you share what those practical entry-level first steps they can take to help bring that into their business or operations might look like?
Yeah, so I think of 3 things when I'm thinking of AI because it's a lot going on across new technology. So first, starting with education, please don't just follow everybody when it comes to AI, because there's a lot of misinformation and there's a lot of good information. So choosing 3 to 5 either companies or individuals or memberships, communities that you can work with to really learn, especially in your space. If you're in the business space, if you're in the consumer space, try to focus on your areas of expertise, because you go too broad, you're going to be overwhelmed by so much information. And there's a lot of newsletters that you can be on that just gives you daily updates on everything, right? Everything that's happening with AWS and their work and all of that. And then 2, strategy. Like, what is your strategy to really jump into AI? Don't just jump into it just to jump into it. Why do you want to jump into it? If you are a technology company, you can not only build with it, but you can also present it to your customers. If you are a consumer brand, you can't necessarily put it in your lipstick, but you can put it on your website to understand your customer a little bit more. And then the final would be support, because once you educate yourself and then now you have the strategy, who's supporting you in getting this done? Yeah. Because I've been learning about it for years before we even started implementing it in our platform at Stimulus, because I was like, this is helping me get a PowerPoint done. Like, it was helping me, right? So it's like, and then I got the support when I started reaching out to random people on AI and on LinkedIn. I was like, you've been in this for a few years. What I'm learning, is that correct? Or should I be studying this and all of that? So really having that support post-education and strategy to bring it all together to make sure that you have the support. You don't feel overwhelmed, that you have the confidence to really implement it in your business, and then choosing a partner for your company to help you learn even more.
Yes, and I want to hone in on the idea of confidence when it comes to considering a cloud provider. With you, having the software, being in technology, it's an important first step to determine who do you want to be that cloud provider, what does that relationship look like long term, and how are you going to continue to modernize and innovate. I know you are built out on Amazon Web Services. I'd love to hear a bit more about how you made that decision and how Stimulus is leveraging them today.
Yeah, so when you are thinking of building a platform, building software that's going to, be sold to, whether consumers or another business, you want to think of who do you want to build your platform with? Like what companies can give you the most resources, give you some free credit so you don't have to spend a lot of money in the beginning. So, we work across, we're multi-cloud, means we're working with different partners. But what I love about AWS is, one, how many do you see at the Essence Fest, right? So, and that's important because you don't see that. There's not a lot of Black women building software and having partnerships like this. I can promise you that. It's very few. And it's really difficult to get up and running, to build something that the people are using every single day, and to get early credits. And credits means that you can build for free for a period of time until you're ready to start paying for it and kind of test it out and figure out if it works for you. And then you have like an amazing accelerator focused on Black businesses, and now you're launching one for AI, and you just see their presence. I think the biggest thing when I think of a partner, where do I see you at? Where are you so I can connect with you beyond just paying you every single month? Right. Like, can I have a conversation with you? Can I brainstorm with you? Can I have dinner with you? Like, when you think of relationship building, you don't think of that always with someone in technology, but we've been able to build those relationships, so it's kind of amazing. So
Tiffany's my bestie. You guys didn't know.
Exactly.
Moving forward, kind of focusing on, as you continue to modernize using AI, where do you see the space going over the next 5 to 10 years, and how do you think Stimulus is going to leverage new technologies that continue to come out?
Yeah, it's about to get crazy. I mean, we're in the infancy stages, as they say, meaning you still have, the human touch of using AI. You can't just be fully on AI and just put the question in there and just be like, I'm gonna run with this, right? Even if you're writing a speech or your paper on AI, with AI on like ChatGPT, please make sure you edit it. Please make sure you use human thoughts to make sure that you have the right information. So that's still going to be a thing. Like, you can't just depend on the technology. So I see that, slowly evolving over a period of time. But I still want to make sure that as we're thinking of, keeping it ethical and keeping it, for everyone, right? We want to make sure that we keep that human touch. So it's going to evolve. It's only going to get smarter. We're going to have more voices in it, diverse voices in it. We're going to have different size companies using it, whether they're in, consumer-based technology, clothing, does not matter. And I'm excited to see that. And then with Stimulus, for us to really create a better buyer and vendor experience and make sure everyone that decides to build a business has the opportunity to work with another business, no matter the size, corporations, a lot of retailers, companies in here that want to be with these big retailers. Like, it becomes a seamless process is my goal, where it doesn't take, 18 to 36 months to sell into a big company. It takes 6 months, maybe 3 months. Hell, the big vision would be a week, but that's probably too big. But the goal is to just be able to create an amazing process.
Yes, and to kind of start to wrap things up, I know you mentioned ethics being important, educating yourself, being aware of the trends and what's next to come. For Stimulus specifically, can you speak to any advice you have for other entrepreneurs looking to get in the similar space, and what makes Stimulus successful based on your business model and just your beliefs?
Ooh, that's a lot. So to get into this space, one thing I heard earlier in the earlier panel from Robert F. Smith was that confidence. And sometimes, underrepresented groups, we lose our confidence quickly because of so much that's happening, and it feels like we're always fighting. We're always fighting for money. We're fighting for customers. We're fighting for life. We're fighting to just smile through the day because somebody said something crazy to us, right? We're always fighting, and I just pray and want to remind people to keep that confidence. And sometimes it goes up and down, but let's focus and keep that confidence. And then, for us as Stimulus, I think it's my background, my diversity, and amazing team that I've hired, that we look at confidence, we look at innovation, we look at partnerships, we look at all of that and bring it together to really focus on the intelligence of building an amazing company within our space and bringing that expertise together and working with folks like AWS.
Absolutely. Well, Tiffany, I appreciate you being here. So inspired by you being in this space. You're making such an impact. We're so happy to be here on the Essence stage. We'd like to thank GBEF for having us. I hope all of you take the time to read a bit more into AI, take a look at Amazon Web Services resources, and learn about what is available to you. Happy to connect on LinkedIn and discuss it further. Feel free to stop me. Happy to talk about it. Tiffany's website is also a great resource. Connect with her, Tiffany Stannard. Yes.
Yes, so my personal website, tiffanystandard.com, and then our company website is getstimulus.io.
Awesome. Okay, thank you again, Tiffany. Round of applause for her. Thank you all for having us.